Cody Boom Boom, another question. Your opinions, routines, and thoughts on mobility and its role, importance in bodybuilder or physique competitors' program and journey. You know, I like mobility work. I actually did a whole bunch of stuff from Kelly Starrett, and the one thing I would stay clear of is when your mobility work becomes your work. When you're actually doing a lot of mobility work just so you can train, I think you should focus more on your training overall instead of, you know, rolling on the floor for 2 hours before you get to do one squat. If it takes you that long to get ready, then maybe your training needs to be adjusted or you need to get healthy. But I'm all for mobility work and prehab work. Just don't let it dominate what you're doing, your time in the gym. Baking Chick. Some time ago I came across observations of long livers around the globe. I'm assuming she means people that live over to be 100, not people with livers that are extended. Their diets are restricted to less than 1,800 calories per day. So how does reverse diet, especially being in a caloric surplus, influence the lifespan? No one can answer that question. No one's done any kind of research on that. There's no quantified data on that. Now, if you're talking about people that ate a low-calorie diet and appeared to live longer, that's possible. But I would also suggest what was the height and weight of those people that lived that long. Like, you know, typically, like in animals, larger animals don't live as long as smaller animals. So maybe these people are smaller and that's why their calories were lower. You know, that would be something I would ask. I would also say, I wouldn't want to live my life with the sole purpose of living it longer. I would want to live my life with the purpose of having a better life. So if it means I live a few less years because I ate 3,000 calories a day and lifted a bunch of weight and looked fucking jacked and tan and awesome, so be it. Those are the shitty years anyway. 2 years at the end of my life, who cares? Budimir997. How long does it take for leptin and ghrelin to be back at normal levels after diet and weight loss? Dr. Lane Norton, your thoughts?
So it depends on a few things. How much weight did you lose? What time period did you lose it in? And what was the lowest calories you had to get to? So all those will affect how long it's going to take. In general, what I tell people is, however long it took you to get to that level, it's probably going to take around the same amount of time to get back to normal. Now, if you do a faster reverse, maybe it'll go faster, but you'll have the potential to gain more body fat. If you do a slower reverse, it'll get back slower, but you won't gain as much body fat. So you kind of have to decide for yourself, like, what's more important. Do you want to stay leaner and probably feel worse for a good long while, or do you want to, you okay putting on some body fat and getting back to normal a little bit faster? And I can't answer that question for you. That's just something you have to kind of decide on your own.
Danny Boyce, is there a limit to how many HIIT cardio sessions you will give your clients per week due to recovery and optimizing fat loss? Absolutely. HIIT cardio has to be used properly. It cannot replace intense training. It cannot take the place of building muscle. You cannot become a cardio person over a physique person. You know, we got specifics. I also will have people auto-regulate their cardio, give them the option. Would they rather do HIIT or rather do steady state? So it's very client dependent, because some of us online coaches actually do the fucking coaching. Imagine that. Like, I answer my own emails. You answer me. You know, don't want to rant here. JCabs88. I'm going for a new PR in the squat. I'm trying to get to that 500 club. I'm trying at the end of my training cycle in 2 weeks. What is the best way to approach a PR? How many warm-up sets and how much weight to jump at once? So if you're doing a training cycle and you're squatting multiple times per week, you're following a warm-up. Follow that same warm-up. You want to have consistency and you build confidence off that. Now, what's the best way to warm up? I mean, if you're squatting near 500 pounds, you're probably starting at 135, jumping to 180, 225, 275, 315. You're making some pretty major jumps along the way, 30 to 50 pounds per set. I'd start at higher reps, obviously, you know, 10, 12, 15 reps. And then by the time you get to 70, 80%, you should be at 3 to 5 reps. And then start hitting singles above that till you get to your PR set. You don't want to fatigue yourself warming up, basically. But yeah, I would suggest following the same pattern every time you squat till you get to your work sets. That will just build a foundation and confidence for all your sets. Clang and bang. Attaboy. What do you think is better, elliptical versus bike HIIT? So what do I think is better, elliptical or bike for HIIT? This is not even a tough one for me. If you have a spin bike that you can use a little bit of resistance on, that's a game changer. Now, if you're talking about the shitty little bikes they have at like most commercial gyms where when you spin your pedals real fast, you can actually overclock the bike, then the elliptical might be better. I do cardio on the elliptical, but I much prefer a spin bike if I can get a hold of one where you can actually increase the resistance. Because if you can increase the resistance just enough, pushing as hard as you can, I mean, you get like a quad pump and you'll be blowing your quads up. So yeah, I prefer a spin bike unless it's a crappy one. Tad Trainer, squatted myself into patellofemoral syndrome in my left leg. Aside from corrective exercises, how often do you recommend Ollie shoes for squatting? Wow, I don't know that Ollie shoes relates to patellofemoral syndrome. I would have to look at your levers and see how you're squatting and see if increasing the length of your tib fib would affect the way your body position is and maybe allow you to have less knee movement and fix that issue. I don't know. How often do I recommend Olympic shoes for squatting? I recommend them quite a bit as far as just from the functional standpoint of they allow you to squat better because they hold you in place. And if you're squatting in a regular training shoe and your feet are moving around and they're squishy, Lane likes to say, what would it be better to squat on, concrete or a waterbed? So Olympic lifting shoes, or you don't have to do Olympic lifting shoes, but if you do a powerlifting specific shoe, squat specific shoe, they're going to have a flat sole and they're going to provide a much more stable position for squatting. And if you've never put one on and you do, sorry, but you're going to have to go buy a pair. It's just, you're going to be like, what the hell was I doing? So yeah, I suggest trying them on. They're not cheap. So, but once you start getting good at squatting, you definitely should look into it. Zach Coop, would you mind discussing stretching, foam rolling, mobility work, or point out some trustworthy sources to read? I'm just going to say go to Kelly Starrett's Facebook or YouTube page. That guy knows more about mobility than anyone else in the world has ever known, so give him a shout out. Anyway, MCLOCOWTF. MCLOCOWTF? Maybe? I got that wrong? And you tagged me in my own thread again, so just, you don't have to do that. I'm here. What is your opinion on mini bulks and cuts? Advantages and disadvantages. You know what though? I did ask you guys to put in there who you wanted to answer the question, so maybe that's what you're doing. So maybe I'm the idiot. What is your opinion on mini bulks and cuts? Advantages, disadvantages. I don't think there's any benefit to a mini bulk or a mini cut, except, this is the only exception, if you're having a bit of a mental struggle with either process. I have some clients that say, you know what, we've been reversing for a while, I just want to drop 4 or 5 pounds and then continue. I'm okay with it. I don't think there's an advantage to it. I don't think those little breaks are going to benefit your long term, but the psychology of the athlete is very important and it's often overlooked. So the only time I say those small changes are important are when it can impact the psychology of the athlete. So that's when answering your emails, and if you're a coach who works with clients online, you should be answering your emails. It shouldn't be somebody else. Just saying. I feel very cheeky today. Okay, this is my favorite question, and I'm going to end it on this one for today. Rosy Cheeks gal. So she's got rosy cheeks. IIFYM does not work for me.
What?
I've tried. Cleaning and a few days of indulging works best for me. So binge eating, okay. Is there any advice? I hate the idea of adding processed foods with chemicals that can give me skin problems or medical illness. I love my skin, all of it, and never have digestive problems. I love that. She said I love that. I don't know about her digestive problems. Here's the thing, Rosy Cheeks gal, and I appreciate you asking the question. I'm going to try to be as serious as I can about this, but if it fits your macros, does not mean as much crap food as I can fit into my macros. That's not what it means. If it fits your macros, means you can eat whatever you want. You can eat your clean foods. You can eat your healthy foods. You can go GMO free. You can eat tilapia and asparagus for 17 meals a day. It doesn't matter as long as it fits your macros. So whatever you set your caloric goals for the day and you set your ratios at, your protein, carbs, and fat goals, You can grab whatever foods you're comfortable with grabbing and fit them. The idea behind IIFYM is not to include junk food. The founders of flexible dieting, Dr. Joe, and who probably popularized it more than him was Lane Norton. The intention with working with clients was not to fit a bunch of crap food in your diet. The intention with flexible dieting is an exchange system. You're taking foods because a long time ago, and even to this day, coaches will give out meal plans that are given to everybody the same. And when they get a question on their meal plan like, hey, can I have something other than 6 ounces of chicken? How about 6 ounces of turkey? No, you can't. Follow the plan. You're a bad client. You don't know what you're doing. I'm the coach. I said so. That's the way it's done. That's how I did it. That's how you're going to do it. And that's how flexible dieting started. Because somebody finally said, well, why can't I have peas instead of broccoli? Why can't I have turkey instead of chicken? Why does it have to be tilapia? Why can't it be grouper? All right. These are the questions that somebody was smart enough to ask. And that person is Dr. Joe. And so what's happened is now that's gotten bastardized. Now it's, hey, instead of a sweet potato, can I have 14 donuts? No, that's not the goal of flexible dieting, especially if you have a physique goal. No one's making you eat crap food. Don't eat crap food if you don't want to eat fat. I like donuts. I like McDonald's. I like eating out sometimes. I can make it work. But when it comes to contest prep and I have a physique goal in mind, you bet your damn life I am eating high volume, high quality foods every meal, because I don't want to get on stage and wonder, well, maybe I shouldn't have had a Chipotle burrito every day for 18 weeks during contest prep. Maybe that wasn't the best thing for me. So I don't want to wonder that. So and also when you get lean, high volume foods, they make you feel better, like you have more energy. So, and if, let's just say you notice you break out when you eat certain processed foods, don't eat them. That doesn't mean you can't do flexible dieting. Maybe just don't eat that one food or that group of foods that bothers you. I'm just talking about exchange here. We're not talking about, if you're a client of mine, you get 3 meals a day of Fruity Pebbles and that's it. No, you eat whatever you choose. That's what flexible means. Flexible doesn't mean bad. So that's it, guys, for questions and answer. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Comments, questions below. Lauren, myself, and Lane, thank you for your time. And if you enjoyed this, maybe we'll do another one in the future. Maybe next time we'll do it on, we'll do the question on Lauren's Instagram. So Lauren's Instagram is @LaurenComlin. I'll put it right here. And Lane's Instagram, if you don't know it, is @BioLane. Put it right here. So make sure you're following them. Obviously, if you know to watch my videos, you probably know who they are. And if you don't, then I feel sorry for you. And that's it from ProPhysique.com.